Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to take a look at the Lagavulin 2018 Distillery Team Pick. 53.5% ABV. Dustin, this one is a double matured Lagavulin of a vatting in specially charred American oak cask, very similar to Talisker 15. And then also first fill bourbon casks.
Perfect.
So not it looks like not going to be a big sherry bomb for us, but as you know, I love these specialty Lagavulins. Love them, bud.
You are definitely the Lagavulin, you're the Lagavulin guy.
Yeah, I have 30 different vintages of Lagavulin, just with the different, 25 different years, 3 different 18s. And man, I can't get enough of them. They're all so different and take me in so many different places as far as my love for Lagavulin. So this is just another step in that journey. So we don't have an age statement on this one. I know the previous year, the 2017, was rumored to be a 16-year-old whiskey. I'm not sure how old this one is, but my guess would probably be somewhere, between that 14, 16-year-old range. This is, again, cask strength, uncolored, and unchill filtered, which is a rarity for Lagavulin. You just get that in these specialty bottlings, but very nice light gold color. None of these Lagavulin special editions, other than say like the 25 or the 21s or the 2013 Jazz Fest, are really dark whiskeys. At least not dark comparatively to the standard offerings, which are colored.
Yep.
But this one right here, man, another light one. But let's get into it and see what we think.
Yeah. So right away, Mike, this is gonna sound weird, but I am getting hit with lemon, blue, and a white wine, like the alcohol effervescence of a white wine, like not like the fruits of like the grape, 'cause that's not here, but like that effervescence at the end, if you smell a white wine, I'm getting some of that. It's really different.
Yeah, I mean, this one does have a lot of sweetness to it right up front on the nose. You're getting that nice vanilla with the peat, no doubt from that first fill bourbon cask. But those specially charred whiskeys, that adds an extra sweetness to it that complements the malt, the normal sweet Lagavulin malt really well in this case, in my opinion.
Yeah, now that I'm kind of past the initial alcohol and upfront citrus, I'm getting that oak, I'm getting that vanilla, I'm getting the traditional Lagavulin peat. Very clean overall whiskey, very well structured, has a very nice, this is a real showcase, I think, of what Lagavulin's malt is supposed to be.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's not a heavily sherried one at all, so the real Lagavulin malt really comes through. I mean, in some ways it kind of reminds me of a really good version of the 12-year-old. I'm thinking specifically the 2017 12-year-old special release, like where it's very layered and you can tell they were really good casks used. And I'm not saying that I think it's 12 years old, because there's some other elements to it, but it reminds me a lot of that whiskey as far as the texture on the nose.
Yeah.
I mean, it's oily, it's dense, it's Lagavulin, but it really shows off with the natural spirit, the natural Lagavulin sweetness can really do.
Yeah, I mean, 1217 I think was a little sweeter than this, whereas this has some other, there's something else going on here. And I think it's got to be that recharred barrel.
Yeah, that recharred barrel adds a different sweetness to me. For me anyway, that is kind of really hard to put my finger on. The only way I can really say it is more of a confectionery, over-the-top artificial sweetness.
Yeah.
And again, I got on that Talisker 15 cask strength, and I'm getting it here in this Lagavulin, and again, I think it's that specially charred, or what I would guess is an overly charred barrel.
Yeah.
But again, that first fill bourbon cask, man, it complements this Lagavulin spirit, in my opinion, so well. Now, I prefer a little bit of sherry in my Lagavulin, but also when it's done extremely well, like it is in this particular one, I think it's dynamite too. Okay, so on the palate, what are you picking up?
There is an artificial sweetener, like not like a packet, but like they've added some liquid sweeteners, a little bit artificial, but it's really nice. I mean, I'm actually really enjoying it with vanilla, and then we get a really beautiful transition where I'm picking up all of this wonderful Isla clean, a little smoky, but it's like a clean smoke.
Very clean smoke. You just lit that fire. Just lit. No coal.
Yeah, and there's like a vanilla custard putty, earthy.
Custardy, yep.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, it's like it's sticking right there. To me, it's almost like a toasted barrel. Like I know a lot of bourbons have gone to like these toasted barrels, like finish the bourbon. That adds a little bit of sweetness, and it also kind of gives it like a gentle oak. I'm getting that big time here. These were beautiful oak casks.
Yeah.
Whatever bourbon they used, that was a beautiful oak cask.
Yeah, this is another example. If Lagavulin uses really good wood, you get a fantastic result out of it. This is a classic example of that. very much like my Jazz Fest 2013. You know, just you can tell the casks they used on this were excellent casks. And whether the recharred cask or the first fill bourbon cask, being that they were in both casks for some amount of time, it was a transfer. At least that's why, when they say double matured, that's what I'm getting out of it. It's a transfer, not mixing two together.
Guess.
But yeah, it's that extra sweetness from the char that is a nice oak-driven experience, along with that over-the-top vanilla and sugary dessert type of finish that I get out of a first fill bourbon cask.
I'm not gonna lie, Mike. This might be the best non-sherry Lagavulin we've done.
Yeah, I mean, I like the 17 version of the Distillery team pick a little bit better, only because there is more sherry in that. That was a really weird charcoal and pineapple type note to it. But this particular one, man, if you're excluding sherry, this is about as good as it gets.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who aren't big sherry fans, you don't like the wine casks, I'm actually surprised how much beautiful sweetness and complexity. I mean, again, I'm getting notes that make me think of a wine, not the flavor, but just the way it drinks. And that's something that's beautiful, and it really showcases that Lagavulin is probably the premier malt on Islay.
So you picking up anything different after I add a few drops of water?
You know, not really. I mean, it's a little bit, a little cleaner. I think it killed some of that, like where I started talking about beautiful, like, what was that? It was like the citrus. I'm not getting that as much. I'm not getting like the glue. I'm not getting.
It's a little more basic with water. It knocked off some of the finer points.
Yeah, but it kind of brought everything together, whereas before I was kind of getting distinct. Here's a piece, here's a piece. Now it's all together, and I think it's doing the same thing on the palate. It's all together now.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty similar experience. I did kind of cleaned it up just a little bit, knocked off some of the rougher edges of the whiskey, but why I would still prefer something that was neat, not with water. I think this is one that's at least interesting enough to try with a few drops of water.
Absolutely, yeah. No, great bottle. And I mean, again, it held up beautifully to water. I would do water all day with this.
Yeah, and really, these aren't expensive. You know, they're a little hard to get, but you can find them on some websites. I mean, this was like $120.
Yeah, that's a great price.
Yeah, I mean, it's cheaper than the 12-year-old is now. And really what the 1643% is, that's chill filtered and colored, it's roughly the same price after tax here in Ohio.
I was thinking this would be a buy at 200, so 125, that's incredible.
Yeah, I think I got this delivered for like $142 with shipping and everything.
I need to look for one of these.
Yeah, it's a dynamite whiskey.
Yeah.
Anyway, where are you at as far as whiskey score on this one?
I feel odd going this high, Mike, but there's something about the finish on this one that is giving me a 90.
Oh, man.
I was not expecting to go 90 on this.
Yeah, my original thought was 88. I bumped it up a point in my mind, so I'm in an 89 out of 100. Now, I always say to myself, like, oh, this is just me because it's a Lagavulin, and I'm giving it 2 out of score, so I'm glad you said a 90 first. It gave me the confidence to say 89.
I legitimately came in expecting to be 87, 88.
Me too.
It's not age stated, it's not sherried, and I've had this before, and I don't remember it jumping out like this.
We have the neck pour.
True, exactly.
Yeah, we had the neck pour, so it was a little more basic there. I've had this for probably 4 or 5 months, so it's
that finish. I mean, that finish literally was worth 2 points.
Yeah, it was an excellent whiskey.
Yep.
So anyway, that's our thoughts. If you tried this particular bottle, any of the Distillery team picks from Lagavulin, which I really have been enjoying. I've had 2. I've enjoyed both 17 and.
I think I've liked them more than the recent Visuals.
Yeah, no,
Actually, significantly more.
I completely agree with you, and we'll get to that later. I have 3 Lagavulin 18s. 3 different versions of them, so I'm going to bring you guys those. But those were 3 times as expensive, and I enjoy this more.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, dynamite whiskey. So Dustin's at a 90, I'm at an 89. We want to once again thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Until next time, Dustin, we'll wish the folks
Happy drinking.
see you then.